Now let's go on to tutorials and kind of, I'll be breaking this down with different game examples, but I want to mention kind of what I think makes a good tutorial. And as I said, I have not made a tutorial. So this is just as a player and kind of someone who's just been looking at this sequence a little bit now. So yeah, I just want to keep that being said. The first one, I think the one that's probably the best, like I said earlier, was Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 was a tutorial in which you essentially wanted to replay that over and over. I don't know about you, but I must have replayed that about 5 to 6 times before I eventually left. The tutorial for this one was that of basically an assault course. I think what really helped make this assault course amazing was obviously the feel of Titanfall. You know, they tuned it up since Titanfall 1. There was a bit more movement. It felt amazing. I mean, the whole sense and power fantasy of playing that of a pilot in that universe is how you're able to maneuver. It's so beautiful. And essentially they make it a kind of obstacle course run which is timed, which you have to figure out your best path. There is I believe it's a kind of like a projection of the course holder or maybe your previous self. And you're just trying to figure out how to duck, weave, slide, wall run. All of these that make it such a fun space. And what's also very cool about that is these are all the mechanics or the base mechanics that you're going to get in the main game when you progress, right? And I think that's another thing is you're showing the player what it is that they're going to have. So big takeaways, in my opinion, for Titanfall 2 is a few things. Firstly is having a strong core mechanic. They understood so well, Respawn, that the core mechanic of this series is obviously movement. It's not just the Titans, because you do unlock and play as them, but most of the time, whether it be multiplayer or single player, you will be going through and playing as a pilot. So that to me was one of the most important things, is understanding and having a strong core mechanic and sense straight off the bat. The second was having a tutorial which not only grounded you in the universe, but connected you to a character, right? Think about it where you can just have sometimes holograms or areas which are by themselves. We'll talk a little bit about that, separating areas, because Titanfall 2 technically does have that, right? It's based in kind of like a VR mission. But the fact is you have a character which you then build a relationship with later through the beginning section of the game, helping you and guiding you, I think is also another big thing. Because of the fact that you'll find this in quite a lot of early games, especially in the JRPG kind of genres, is that very early your character will lose someone that they care about, but we as players generally do not. And that's because we do not spend enough time with them at all. We have like maybe a couple of dialogues and then they're gone. Now, it's supposed to be emotional impact, but why do we care? Because at the end of the day, it sounds heartless, and I don't mean it to, as you get to know my dark, cold demeanor. But my point is we care about losing the ones that we love because we've built up a rapport with them, a relationship. In games, they expect you to have such an emotional impact or investment in these characters when you don't know them. You've seen them on screen for less than 30 minutes. What? So in Titanfall 2, they build up that relationship by having your kind of mentor and teacher be present in the tutorials. He has some quippy one-liners. As I mentioned with the ones I was talking about with the voice actors, they can work very well. Just tie it in with the actual gameplay and movement itself. And that really helps. The second thing is, obviously, that level is great. I don't care what anyone says, that level is fantastic. So making sure that that level pushes and challenges you. And for you, the challenge is obviously the timer. But you've gone before already to learn the basic shooting, movement, jump, wall run. But now you're putting it all together. So you're learning it all and then tying it in. So now that's a great test for you. And that test comes in the form of a timer. Can you beat the designated time? And then they pull on the competitive strings of people by going, oh, you got this time. Well, check out the leaderboard. I think that's another great way is they're showing you other either developer runs or runs online and just showing you, whoa, I thought I was good. I thought I mastered it. It shows me that I haven't. And it's from there that, again, they pull on that competitive string. and move it from there. So yeah, there's a lot that makes Titanfall great. Also the theme of it, right? You're a soldier, so it's an obstacle course. You know, we're going to talk about the Modern Warfare ones because I think they're nice tutorials too, because I think Titanfall 2 actually took inspiration from that. Well, I think it was. Respawn is based on Infinity Ward, which made the Modern Warfare series. So I'm sure they already, you know, previously working on that franchise to then make this, I'm sure took great inspiration. But having that, and again, just building a relationship with characters, it has fun equips to the characters, the level is built extremely well, they have a core strong movement, building on the competitive nature, all of these elements really go into making Titanfall 2 a really phenomenal, strong starting tutorial.